What's going on, everybody? It's the JAY man here, and I'm doing a video, doing something a little bit different, doing something I've never done before. If anybody that knows me and they're familiar with my channel, they know that I've reviewed beers, I've reviewed cigars, I've reviewed pipe stuff, pipe tobaccos, talked about pipe smoking. I picked something up from the store the other night with really no intention to do a video, but then I started thinking, why not? Might as well. I picked up a can of Skoal. And here's a little backstory on this. There was a time where I dipped, but it was a very short period of time. It was somewhere maybe like the late 90s. A friend of mine dipped, so I was kind of doing it, but it maybe only lasted 6-7 months. So it really wasn't like something that turned into an addiction. Nicotine is always addictive, no matter how you're doing it, whether it be vape, whether it be, chewing tobacco, whether it be snuff, whether it be cigarettes, whatever. Nicotine is addictive, but I didn't get addicted to the habit of dipping, if that makes sense. And I hadn't touched the stuff since. And it's not to say that, okay, now I'm going to spew off into a tangent and now I'm going to start dipping every brand in sight and talking about it. I don't know. I just got a wild hair up my ass the other night. I thought I'd grab it. But the weird thing is, okay, the stuff that like I said, we're talking about like 1999. That was 24 years ago. Okay. Back then, I don't remember there being so many different flavors of snuff. Skoal always had different flavors, but it was kind of limited. Copenhagen was always Copenhagen, and I do remember some others. I know now Grizzly's like a big thing. I've heard a lot of people buy that stuff. But here's what's crazy. I go into the store, and I had been eyeballing the dip for a while, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it because I was like, I just want to try it again. So I told the dude at the counter, which I guess he didn't really have too much experience with what dip is what. He just works behind the counter. And my favorite stuff I used to dip was Skoal Classic. Came like in a grayish kind of black dark can. And it didn't really have a flavor. The flavor to me just seemed plain Jane, which always seems to be my palate of taste. I always like with cigars, I like earth, not too much flavored, not too much infused. Well, I don't know if they still make Skoal Classic. I didn't look it up. He couldn't find it. So then I was like, well, there was a time like where I would do Wintergreen or I would do like Spearmint, and I guess it's just mint. But I told him, give me the classic Wintergreen. So he gave me the classic Wintergreen, and it wasn't until I opened up the can I realized, look on there. It's the pouches. I didn't intend to get the pouches. I wanted to get the loose stuff. Like where you get the pinch, put it in your lip. I wanted to get the pouches. I wanted to get the loose stuff just for old time's sake. So I ended up getting the pouches. And I was like, what am I going to do? I can't return it. Can't return an open can of snuff. So I thought, what the hell? Let's try it out. Let's see if it's any good. And from what I read, the pouches, I never did the pouches back in the day. I don't know if they had them. They might have had them, but I just don't remember. So it's cleaner And I'm not going to lie, I was going to do a video on this stuff, but I was going to like do a video and doing it my first time. But I'm not going to pretend like this is my first time. I could do that. I could be like, I'm just going to tell them it's my first time. But no, I pulled the trigger the other day. By the other day, I mean yesterday. And I went ahead and tried one. So I've already tried it. Just want to be honest with you. But let's go ahead and talk about it. Okay, Skoal Classic Wintergreen pouches. It says on the website that the nicotine is regular. I don't know what that means. I guess just your average amount. The manufacturer is U.S. Smokeless Tobacco Company out of Nashville, Tennessee. This is considered pre-portioned tobacco pouches. 100% American-grown tobacco, if they say so. Just the warning label on it. It says a pinch better since 1934. I'm assuming 1934 is when Skoal came out, because Dip's been around forever. You know, we know that. I guess it was more like chewing tobacco back in the day, like the Red Man. I know Copenhagen was always kind of an older school one too, I think, but I don't know a whole lot about it. But let's go ahead and get into it. I already had one the other day, so I kind of already know what to expect. See, as soon as I opened that and saw that, I was like, damn, that ain't what I wanted, but it's what I'm stuck with. So let's get us a pouch. Let's get it in our lip. Like, this is totally crazy because I've never done a video on this stuff. I'm going to throw it in on this side. Kind of get that going, kind of get that thing juicing up. Got a dip cup. Got a paper towel in it. I remember that. Always put a paper towel or tissue in your cup. That way it kind of soaks up in case you had a spillage. A lot of people like to use water bottles. That's another thing I didn't think about. Having this in my lip and trying to talk, it was going to be fucking difficult. But we'll get through it. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, J-A-Y, man. You drink beer, you smoke cigarettes, you smoke pipes, you smoke cigars, and you dip in some tobacco. It's like, what gives, man? You're just asking for it. It's like you're just asking for a bad day. But I don't think I could completely get back into that. It's overbearing, not overbearing. Let me choose my words more wisely. It's intense. The intensity, since haven't dipped in 24 years, my gums aren't conditioned for it. And I had this problem yesterday. Like right now, it's burning. And this is Skoal. And I remember back in the day, I couldn't even do Copenhagen because it burned so bad. So I don't even know what Copenhagen would do to me. Copenhagen was always like really, really fine too. Where I always liked Skoal, but I liked the long cut. I'm collecting some good brown spit now. The pouches are cleaner. The pouches are cleaner, not as much mess to get in and out, which is cool, which is fine. That's what I found out yesterday. But I feel like you don't get the full experience with these pouches because I don't feel like you're getting the full flavor because since it's kept in that cloth-like material pouch, it's almost like it's being held back. The flavor's being held back, so you're not getting so much all the flavor you can. It's like if you requested a Dr. Pepper and someone brings you a diet Dr. Pepper and you're like, yeah, I'll drink it, but fuck, I really wanted the regular. It reminds me of that situation. But it's intense on the burning. And like I said, that's probably just because I haven't. It's like a person that never smoked a cigarette. They take a puff, they take a drag, they're going to cough. So. And like I said, it's not to say that I'm about to start going into doing a bunch of this stuff, because these are not cheap. I remember a can of dip used to be about $2 and something. This thing was like $7. So I don't know if I'm getting ripped off, but that's high. I can't be buying $7 cans of snuff. I ain't got the money for that shit. So don't worry, you ain't gonna see too much of that. But then again, the viewers may love it. It says on the warning label says, this product is not a safe alternative to cigarettes. No, because you're basically trading emphysema and lung cancer for tongue and mouth and throat cancer. So you're just switching one problem. You're basically switching what you're going to die from one thing to the other. We always have a choice in life. You get to choose your own death. Or you might be lucky, live to 100, never have no problems. Who knows? It says it's guaranteed fresh. It tastes fresh. It's wintergreen, all right. Classic wintergreen. I don't know what the difference between classic wintergreen and like a regular wintergreen would be. It's wintergreen though. I remember the taste of wintergreen. It just feels like the pouch is holding back the full flavor. I really wish I would have got the other stuff, but it's too late. It's like, I'll tell you why, man, move on. And I'm not really like trying to rate this on a system of 5 stars like I do beer, or trying to say win or sin with cigars. I guess I'm just kind of just talking about it. I don't think I could go to doing this all the time. I'm just now starting to feel nicotine. That's what's always crazy, because different things hit different ways. Like you smoke a cigarette, you're getting straight down to the nitty gritty. As soon as you inhale that cigarette into your lungs, that first drag or two, boom, you're instantly getting that nicotine. With a cigar, I don't ever feel nicotine till I get to the final third. So I might be 30, 35 minutes into a cigar before I even start to, especially if it's a Churchill. I don't start to feel nicotine until that final third. With pipe tobacco, I've never felt nicotine. Except I felt a tiny bit of nicotine coming through the inner lining of my mouth from the stuff my buddy Deadman gave me called Peterson's 3P plug tobacco. It's a little bit stronger. But as far as like other tobaccos, pipe tobaccos, whether they be Virginians, Burleys, Cavendish, basically anything ribbon cut or flake, I don't ever feel any nicotine. I can smoke that thing for an hour and not feel nothing. Like I said, it took me about, a good 12 minutes? No, can't say that. I'm rocking 14 and a half right now. I didn't start feeling the effects of nicotine until about a minute and a half ago. And I talked about this shit for a while. So it might have been like less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes. Maybe around 6-7 minutes. I don't know. Shut up. I'm feeling the nicotine, but it's not overbearing. I can remember Skoal Classic long cut, packing a punch with the nicotine. Especially in the beginning, when I wasn't used to nicotine, it'll hit you hard, especially on a hot day. Whoo! It'll make you want to go lay down, brother. And I watched some videos on this stuff. Some people say, like right now, like I feel like the flavor's wearing off, and they say to take it out and flip it around. And I'm trying to keep it in the same spot in my mouth, because in order for dip to get into your bloodstream, it has to kind of cut through that inner layer of your mouth. So I'm trying not to move it around, keep it in that same spot. And I remember me and my buddy back in the day, my buddy Joe, because he started dipping because smoking. We started smoking cigarettes when we were about 17. And I don't know what it was. I think me and him both were, I don't know, we weren't like necessarily sick of cigarettes, but I want to say, I don't know, he switched for some reason. I don't know if it's because he got sick. I kind of wanted to switch because I got bronchitis that year. Well, not that year. Like in 99. I was about 19. I got bronchitis, and smoking cigarettes sure as hell don't help with your bronchitis. If anything, it'll make you maintain that bronchitis and keep it. Turns into chronic bronchitis. And I wanted to kind of experiment with it because I was like, well, I want to get nicotine, but I want to kind of preserve my lungs and bronchi and all that good stuff. Preserve the air sacs as long as you could. Till my bronchitis was gone. So we kind of got on this kick together for about, I want to say it probably didn't last no more than 6-7 months. And then as soon as I was feeling well again, I switched back to cigarettes. So I built myself back up just so I could destroy myself once again. Like I said, I'd way rather smoke a cigar than this. I wouldn't say that I'd necessarily want to smoke a cigarette, because I only smoke cigarettes if I'm drinking. I'm not a daily cigarette smoker at all. I only touch cigarettes when I've been drinking. That's when I get the craving for them. And I don't drink every day. But these things wear out of flavor, because the one I dipped yesterday seemed to kind of run out. Like, I'm going 18 minutes right now, almost 19. I'm about to end the video. I swear to God, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go and spit this out because it's starting to get real bland. Like I said, not really feeling. I'm feeling the nicotine, but if it makes sense to people that like nicotine, I feel like I'm just getting a little bit. Like just enough to piss you off. Plus, I wouldn't want to go to this every day anyway, because I've spent thousands of dollars on dental work in the past few years. Ain't no sense in ruining all that. I mean, the cigars and the other stuff will probably help along with that. But I'm done with that. I'm going to wash my mouth out. Overall, I wouldn't buy this product again. But if I did run across a can of the old school Skoal Classic, if they still make it, I don't know. They ain't done a whole lot of research on it. If I run across a can of that long cut, I may want to revisit the past. So, with that being said, to me, Skoal Pouches Wintergreen is not a product I would buy again. So, I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm not going to say it's good. I'm not going to say it's great. I'm not going to say it's horrible. It's just something that's kind of but I will not purchase that again. But stay tuned later on. Got my partner in crime, Carissa, coming over. We're going to be busting out a couple of reviews. Going to be doing a revisitation of a beer. I'm not going to tell you what that is. You got to stay tuned. And she purchased some beer, box style, I believe. I don't know what kind yet, but we will see. Stay tuned for those. It's going to be a hell of a Friday night. As always, cheers, stay smoking. If you like to dip, hell, stay dipping. Peace out.